Hey, welcome to the Quarter Report brought to you by the Red Knight Special. This is Word on the Net. I'm your boy Nut, and thank you for tuning in. Hope you hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep it running. Hit that like button so we can keep it up there, man, because they don't, if you don't hit the like button, then my videos won't get to the people. You feel me? They keep it where nobody can find it. You know what I'm saying? So hit that like button for me and that subscribe button. Let's run it up. Now, today, I'm not going to hold y'all. Today, this situation is a little crazy for me because, with everything going on in the world right now, you would think it'll be a little more compassion and understanding for each other's different races and trying to come together. Unfortunately, it's more stuff on top of more stuff on top of more stuff. Now check this out. In today's content I have for y'all, right? We have a 6-year-old kid that unalived a police officer for feeling like she was about to take her mama's life. You feel me? The cool thing about the situation, we see a lot of this happening in the community. It's like as a woman go to Walmart, you leaving the Walmart, they ask you for your receipt. You know how that is so irritating for people to, and they ain't like they ask everybody for their receipt. They pick and choose who they choose. If you look like you're the type of, if you're black and you look like you're a thief, ask them for a receipt. If you're white and you look like you're a junkie or something like that, ask them for a receipt. But and it's just weird to me how, and it gets irritating at times. You know what I'm saying? But on this specific case, right, we have a woman went and bought her a TV, trying to go home, trying to leave the store. The person at the store asked her for the receipt. She dropped the receipt on her way leaving the cash register. But the cold part about it is she goes back with the guy at the door, and the guy at the cashier says, "Yeah, she just purchased this TV." Instead of him de-escalating and let the lady go, or whatever the case it is, or even went back and looked on the camera in the store and ran it back and seen that she paid for her TV. What did he do? He calls the police and tells the police, or she, whoever it was, and says that this woman has stole the TV and she assaulted me. She hit me or did something to me on her way out the store, which prompted the police into coming as if it was some kind of felony stop. You feel me? But instead of her coming and taking, seeing what happened and taking your side and then getting to the bottom of it, she came on some extra aggressive thing and ended up getting unalived. You know what I mean? This is what happens every day in the hood, though. This is the type of stuff that happens every single day in the hood. We'll have a white person call the police, tell the police the angry black man or the angry black woman has assaulted me or got me in fear of my life. What tend to happen? They'll run right over there, take the woman's side or the man's side, and since you're the black person, you're a little aggressive because you're tired of being picked on and stumped on. Listen, you're the aggressor, you're going to jail. Anyway, in this case, it did happen like this. An officer lost their life from a 6-year-old child. You know what I mean? So let's get off into the content, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go.
Somebody sent me this story, and I looked on a couple of places for some information on this story, and I've seen this story posted on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and some other websites. So I'm going to relay this information to you. It has not been on any major sites, but I think if this is a actual story, that it definitely has a lot of points when it comes to police brutality, the profiling of black people in America, and self-defense. Self-defense. Now, this story is about a 6-year-old girl and her mother. The girl, 6-year-old girl, is reported in this article being named Aaliyah, and her mother is 38-year-old Denise Williams. Now, this story reportedly happened in a city called Novi, Michigan, which I've never heard of. But apparently, on this day, Walmart, February the 2nd, it says that the young girl and her mother went to Walmart with Miss Williams purchased a 75-inch smart TV. Now, she purchased the TV, and as she attempted to leave with the TV, her receipt, slipped from her purse. She was unaware, and when she continued by the door, the receipt checker, Trevor McCaffrey, it says his name. Trevor McCaffrey asked, for her receipt, and to show him the proof of a purchase. Now, she realized that I didn't have the receipt, so she explained the situation to the man, and then she went back to the cashier, who she had just purchased the TV from. And the cashier confirmed that she had paid for the TV, but McCaffrey, the receipt checker.
And now you get, this is what I'm saying. You take the lady, go back to the cashier, and the cashier confirms that she did purchase the TV. She lost the receipt somewhere somewhere in between, but she did purchase this TV. Right then and there, he should have de-escalated this whole situation, and that officer would still be alive to this day. And this little girl wouldn't have to live through the fact that she unalived a police officer at 6 years old. She got to live with this the rest of her life. Let's go.
Still refused to let her leave. He insisted that, look, she couldn't leave the store without a receipt. Now, eventually, Miss Denise got around him, and then she went to her SUV, putting her 6-year-old daughter in the car first, and then, asking for help from a nearby man in the parking lot to help her load the TV into her vehicle. Now, when the man was helping her, the police car suddenly pulled up, according to this article. Evidently, Trevor McCaffrey, now it doesn't give the race of Trevor McCaffrey, but, I had to assume from history he may be, a white person. Now, he called the police and said that Denise had stolen the TV and assaulted him on her way out. And the officer is Officer Lindsay Carter, a 28-year-old rookie with a reputation for being overly zealous.
Now, we can watch millions of YouTube videos, and it shows the aggressiveness of these police officers. And I be wanting you people to understand, police officers are human beings also. They deal with emotions. They deal with heartache. They deal with pain. They deal with everything that we deal with as civilians, right? At the end of the day, my thing is this. So just like we go to work sometimes and we take our problems from home to work with us, we might come to work with an attitude or mad about something and tend to take it out on somebody else about, oh man, I'm tripping, I snapped on this person. Police officers do the same thing. So when you're a rookie officer and you're trying to put your mark down and trying to make sure they know that you are good enough to be on their team, people tend to overstep their boundaries. This lady did not think that day when she woke up and put that uniform on that she would come to work and be unalived by a 6-year-old kid. Let's start there. Anyway, let's get back to the story.
Overzealous, which unfortunately a lot of officers are, like that officer who got out the car and slammed the handcuffed black man in Goldsboro, North Carolina. But we're going to deal with him, as time progresses. And they said that she already had her hand resting on her gun. Now, the officer confronted Miss Denise Williams and accused her of theft and demanded that she put her hands behind her back. Now, Denise tried to explain to the officer that I had paid for the TV. The cashier could confirm it, but Carter's tone, the officer's tone, grew aggressive. Then, when Denise hesitated to comply with putting her hand,
And this is why people are, and this is what's crazy about society, right? They'll say, well, if the police pulled up and the police told you to put your hands up and do this, just comply. But see, that's because y'all don't understand. We're not cattle. We're we're not animals. We're not dogs. They're not the pet control. They're not pet. Come on, man. Just because you pull up and say put your hands behind your back don't mean I'm finna turn around and put them. If that's the case, anybody wearing a uniform that's not even the police can put on the uniform and pull up on you people and say, hey, come here, put your hands behind your back and throw handcuffs on you. Gonna comply because you're just so used to just doing whatever the person in the badge with the badge and the gun says. So that's why a lot of people probably do get took off the streets, becoming disappeared. People end up disappearing. Nobody never heard of them because of situations like this. How many YouTube videos they got where it's guys riding around false advertising as if they are police officers, pulling people over, stopping people? What's gonna make them go to the next level of handcuffing, putting you in the back of their car, and nobody never hearing from you again? So with that being said, I know the two don't relate, but what I'm saying is just because a police officer coming to tell you to put your hands behind your back don't mean that you necessarily got to apply. You need to know why you're doing it. They got to have reasonable, articulate suspicion to prove that you did something in order for them to just come and detain you like this. You feel me? The lady didn't do nothing wrong. Instead of the officer pulling up and saying, hey, we just got a phone call that this and this was going on. Can you explain to me what's going on? Like, and the conversation would have went a whole different way. I put my life on the line and say the conversation would have went another way. But when you come up with this aggression and thinking that person supposed to bow down to you because you got a badge and a gun on it, you people get paid the regular amount of money just like anybody. You're not doctors. You're not rocket scientists. They don't pay you police because you're smart. They don't pay you. They don't hire you police because of your brain. They hire you police because you have hands, you have a gun, and you're easily brainwashed to know that they got you think you're fighting for a system and fighting against the constitutional rights of everybody on these streets. That's what they're doing. And y'all just don't see all you people talking about, oh, the angry black man, the angry black woman, or she should have did that. Come on, man. Y'all, man, come on, man. You gotta step your thinking mentality up. You gotta upgrade to this new modern day times that we living in. You gotta get them slavery mentality minds up out of your head, man. We're not living in the 40s, the 30s, or the 20s, or the 50s, whatever. We're not living back in them days. We're living in a whole new time. And as you can see clearly from the news, that a lot of people is not having it. A lot of people is getting fed up, and y'all don't get it. Y'all keep pressing the line on people. I don't understand how you, as an officer, can see how you can write up a false report and a negative report to look good for your behalf just so you can violate people and lock them up. I'm sorry that this officer lost her life, and my heart goes out to her and her family. But at the same time, what if there was that another black lady who just lost their life behind getting choked out, and her 6-year-old daughter watched her mama get unalive? See, nobody looking at that part of the game is always, oh my God, they did this to the officer. We can't charge the 6-year-old kid. They want to put that little 6-year-old kid away. Anyway, let's get back to the content. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's go.
hands behind their back. Many people always say, well, you have to comply. No, you don't have to comply if you've done nothing wrong. I'm going to stand on that. Police, comes up to me and asks me to put your hands behind your back, Mr. Taylor. I'm going to say, for what? Show me the warrant. You have that right. Nevertheless, she resisted. No, you're not handcuffing me. And the officer responded with unnecessary force, the article said. The article says she grabbed Denise by the arm, struck her in the ribs, forced her to the ground, and placed her in a chokehold.
Now, how many times have we done seen this same incident? How many times have you watched a YouTube video and the police walk up to a suspect and say, "Put your arms behind your back and grab her"? And he say, "Man, what for? What you doing?" And they slam him to the ground. "You resisting arrest. You resisting arrest." How am I resisting arrest when you're actually physically kidnapping me without letting me know that you're about to handcuff me and kidnap me? How? How is that resisting arrest when I'm asking a question? I'm asking a simple question, and y'all turn it to something else and say you're resisting. Come on, man. This lady pulled up, grabbed her, punched this lady in the rib, put her in the chokehold, and we're finna choke her out all based on a lie. A lie. Instead of coming up and doing an investigation and figuring out what was going on before you got aggressive with this person, you walked up and instantly got aggressive with this woman and end up getting getting unalived in the process. This is sad.
We've all seen these chokeholds, these very familiar chokeholds that these cavalry officers use, and I say that with much disrespect as possible. That's for the cowardly officers. Now, not all officers are cowardly, or they.
This is what I will say. Not all police are cowardly. Not all police are bad. I will say there's a sprinkle of good cops amongst all these bad apples. But the news report always say there's a few rotten apples in the police force. Well, if we know anything about rotten apples, if you put one rotten apple in a bag full of good apples, what tend to happen? All the apples in that bag tend to start rotting out slowly but surely because of that one bad apple. So we can't keep using that excuse. Oh, it's only one bad apple. And why I say that? Because you can have a 5 or 6 police officers pull up on the scene of an incident. 2 of the police do something wrong and violate somebody and end up hurting somebody or do whatever. The other rest of the police, instead of them standing up for that person's rights, that they gonna go along with the police, whoever. Oh, it's your stop, it's your caller. I'm just gonna tell you what. That's how they work. This is how they work.
They do their job in a disrespectful manner. And the 6-year-old girl, Aaliyah, who was seated in the SUV, she watched her mother struggle. And she remembered that her mother kept a firearm in the glove compartment for protection, which she had taught her 6-year-old how to use and handle safely. And the article said that the young girl, Aaliyah, retrieved the gun, stepped out of the SUV, and pointed it at Officer Carter, screaming for her to stop. When Carter turned towards Aaliyah and appeared to reach for her own weapon, Aaliyah, the 6-year-old, fired a single shot, precisely striking the officer in the eye. The officer, Carter, collapsed to the ground, expired. Aaliyah immediately dropped the weapon, rushed to her mother's side, sobbing and begging for her to wake up. Evidently, the officer had her nearly unconscious. Denise regained consciousness moments later as more officers arrived on the scene. Both she and Aaliyah were taken into custody. So they take the mother and the daughter into custody. However, after a thorough investigation, Denise was cleared of any wrongdoing. The lost receipt was recovered, and security footage confirmed that Denise had paid for the TV and had not assaulted the Tyler McCaffrey guy who made the call.
Now, in my own opinion, that person who made that call and lied should get charged. Just like that female in Atlanta who lied on that rapper and said that he was beating up a female outside his house and they were 4 or 5 dudes beating her up and all kind of things going on. The police came and the rapper ended up getting unalived because he ran from the police. And y'all gonna say, well, why did he run? It doesn't matter. When you're in the privacy of your house and people come up to you, question you're mad about whatever come, you see, you're gonna get now. You think about your life, man. You don't know what they coming for. You ain't did nothing wrong, but you just coming and grabbing me for. You people be the ones talking, well, what did I do? And then you be on TV talking about you get picked up and charged for something that you didn't do. But since you have complied and not asked no questions, now you doing 20 some years of your life for something you didn't do. People is tired of being railroaded. We're tired of being police using their badges and their guns as justification to take lives. Not just black lives, Spanish lives, white lives, all lives. The badge is not for us, period. The badge, yeah, people ask me, why you always say that we don't need police? I know we like I tell you, we need police, but we don't need them we don't need police to police our neighborhood. But what I will say is with this generation, it's all bad. You don't know what to do with this generation because this generation don't have the mind frame to understand how to police their neighborhood. They don't understand how to take care of their neighborhood. They don't understand them type of things. So our world is just messed up right now. This 6-year-old kid got to live with the fact of trauma that she had to shoot an unalive an officer for choking out her mom. Now the question is, what city are they living in and what neighborhood they living in where the mama have to teach her 6-year-old child how to use a weapon, a gun at that? To know how to grab a weapon, cock it, and aim it at 6 years old, and she aimed it for the eye. This story hits me because I was shot in the face and lost my eye. I got shot in the face and lost the eye. So I'm sitting there listening, thinking about it, the trauma of me getting shot, the PTSD I received from just being in the ghetto and living in the ghetto in the hood and hearing gunshots all the time, ducking gunshots, as a youngster playing with them hammers running around. And then this little girl is 6 years old and had to experience the fact that unaliving a police officer. Maybe she was aspiring to be a police officer one day. You know, little kids be like, I want to be a cop. I want to be this. Maybe she was inspired, but now she gonna have this disdain on her heart for police now and the fact of what she had to do. Now what's throwing me off is all these people talk she's a hero, she's this, she's that, cool. But do y'all understand the fact of the mental psychological effect it's gonna have on this little girl at 6 years old growing up that had to use a squirter and unalive a police officer? Come on, man, let's think about that.
The footage also revealed Officer Carter's excessive use of force, which had escalated the situation unnecessarily. Aaliyah's actions were deemed justifiable as she acted in defense of her mother's life. The incident has ignited widespread debate about systematic racism, the criminalization of black shoppers, and the excessive force used by law enforcement. The Williams family has since filed a lawsuit against Walmart citing McCaffrey's false accusations and failure.
And that's what they should do. That's what they should do. You know what I'm saying? They should own that Walmart. Their family should own. This is what I'm saying, right? Is when you have people, and this is, I'm not racist, y'all. Please don't think that. I'm really not racist. I love all colored people, all race people. I got friends all race. I don't care. But my problem is we have a percentage of a race of people out here who just feel entitled. They feel like they're superior. They feel like their word is law. They feel like when the police come, the police gonna take their side. You know why? Because the black man and the black woman is always gonna be considered the angry black person. You feel me? And I'm not racist. I'm just telling you how society look at it. Just like I say, when the police pull you people over at my age, I still get asked at my age, are you on parole or probation? Why do you feel like you need to ask me that because I'm a black man? When you pull a white person over, a white man over that's my same age, you don't ask him if they're on parole and probation. You say, "Hey, how you doing today?" Well, I'm sorry, I had to stop you because you made a turn right here and didn't signal. Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Oh, no problem, sir. I'm just gonna let me make sure your license registration good. Oh, good. You ticket. Good ticket. Oh, we ain't gonna get it two. Gonna get it one. And you have a nice day. When a black person get put on, hey, you on parole probation? Put your hand on the steering wheel. Don't move. Matter of fact, can you step out the car? We want to search the car. All this because of my skin color. You don't think people was getting fed up behind this illegal search, breaking people constitutional rights? This got to stop, man. This just needs to stop, man. We got 6-year-old kids now unaliving police officers. This is crazy. This is crazy work. I don't care what nobody. This is crazy. Didn't even think about that. 6 years old. Know to protect her mother. Know to aim a weapon at an officer, and seen the officer clutching for her weapon, and the little kid squeezed. Like it's either you or me. At 6 years old, what community? What is wrong with our community where people got to teach their 6-year-old kids how to use weapons, man?
Failure to de-escalate as key contributors of the tragic event. Aaliyah is now at the center of national conversation, is seen by many as a hero for protecting her mother in the face of grave danger. And this is the picture of Miss Aaliyah. I'm going to show it. This is the alleged picture of the 6-year-old. And that is the article that has been circulated. I've seen it on a few sites. So, a lot of things with this situation. First of all, with the criminalization of black shoppers. I've always hated when somebody asks me for my receipt when I'm leaving the store. You know, a lot of times I would just walk by.
And that is very irritating too. That when you stand in a long line to pay for your items, you pay for your items, you walk up out of there, and then you getting stopped. And not everyone's getting stopped, just random people that look like they might be stealing. I watched a video where a black lady stopped another black lady from walking out the store and said, can I see your receipt? Matter of fact, she wasn't even black. My bad. I think she was Spanish. She was Spanish or something, or Indian or something. And first thing she said was, "Can I see your receipt?" The lady said, "I just paid for my item. What you need to see my receipt for?" "Well, I need to see your receipt." And she said, "Why is you not stopping these other people asking them for the receipt? Why did you pick me to stop me than asking for a receipt?" She said, "It's not my fault that you people are the ones that look like y'all be stealing. You people. You people." Come on, man. We got to do better as people, as human beings on this earth, man. For real, we got to do better.
I'm just like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I got to go. Now, you know, sometimes I do, but, you know, people rarely ask me for my receipts. But then we got to go on to, you know, the security people. You know, the people at the store in North Carolina when they, you know, jumped on the man and accused him of stealing. And this.
Go check out Richard Taylor's channel, man. The man his channel is good. I always watch it. You know what I mean? I pick some content from there and I do stories on. You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't know if my viewers even seeing his content, but I put on my channel so you can go look him up and find his channel and you can check out his podcast or what he got going on over there. You dig what I'm saying? I just feel like at the end of the day, man, it's just so much going on in this world, man. And it seemed like every day, every single day, it seemed like it's just getting, you know what I'm saying? It's just becoming a bigger and bigger problem out here. Like hard to even survive. It's hard. Prices and food is up. Everything is up right now. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then with society the way it is, you know, it's just bad. It's just bad out here. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to man, be safe out here, man. When you run around, be safe. watch yourself when you're around these police, man. Be careful. Do what you got to do to make it back home to your family. And I'm not saying do nothing violent. I'm saying whatever it takes for you to make it back to your family, if complying to the situation and whatever it is, do what you got to do, man. Because these police ain't playing a fair game right now. You know what I mean? And it's sad that we live in a society where we can't even trust the people that policing us is the ones that's unaliving us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're not doing it worse than the black people is unaliving each other, but I'm saying, man, with them adding on to it and we can't trust them, then you wonder why nobody trusts the police. Nobody don't cares to think what the police is they gonna help or not. You know what I mean? Because every time people call the police, the person that end up calling the police is the one that end up in trouble for some strange reason. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're black. You know what I mean? So, you know, I wish y'all a wonderful, blessed day, man. Um, you know, look after your family, man, and think about what I said. Leave a comment in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. If you feel like this young girl was too young to be dealing with a weapon, too young for her mama to be teaching her how to use a weapon. Do you think she's a hero for saving her mama? Do you think that the police over you know what I'm saying, just did too much when they pulled up and did too much when they put up on the lady instead of de-escalating the situation and trying to understand? Do you think she was wrong for accelerating it or getting it to go up? You know what I mean? Anyway, man, I'll catch you on the next one.